like to thank the candidates for their responses, and now we'll allow for closing remarks, beginning with Mrs. Washington, followed by Alderman Bill, and then followed by Mrs. Kelly. You do have 2 minutes each.
I want to just thank you all again for allowing us to come and have another opportunity. I think we said we were up to about 12 or 13 forums, but it does give us an opportunity to listen to you and hear, because I want to be a good listener also. I represent you. It's all about you. One of the things I pledge is that we will do a weekly forum, because as we go around, people don't know what's going on, what's happening, how can they have some input into the beginning of the process, and then after the decisions are already made, how can they have input into that? So we really want to make sure that that happens. One of the other things that I made a pledge on was the health care benefits. You know what kind of benefits that the Congress and the Senate have there. They're great benefits. I pledge that I am not going to take those benefits to everybody in District 2 gets the health care benefits that they deserve. And that's going to be an issue that I am going to work on, because I think it wraps around the gun issue, wraps around our education issue, wraps around all our issues, and if we can get some of those things started, I pledge to you that I will work. Nobody will work harder than I am. I've been all over this district, from Will County and Kankakee, all the way back up into Chicago. And when we look around our neighborhoods, I'm in the South Shore neighborhood, and when you see houses boarded up on this corner and then on the next corner, and we know the banks don't want those homes, you know, why can't we negotiate something with them so people can stay in their homes? That's what I'm going to be working on. All the things that we talked about here, we're going to prioritize them. We're going to have people that are very close to the situation. Those people who are close, those are the ones who need to say, these are our issues, and it shouldn't take us 20 or 40 years. If you want to keep doing another 20 or 40 years, you stay with the status quo. If you want to have somebody who's going to really work hard and get in there and fight for every issue and get it solved, then you'll vote for Joyce Washington. I'm looking forward to being your next Congresswoman for the 2nd District. The special election is February 26th. There's early voting too. I'm looking forward to being your next Congresswoman. Thank you.
Thank you once again for this forum and this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I've created more jobs than anybody in this race. In my tenure as Alderman of the City of Chicago, I've created more senior housing than any Alderman in the City of Chicago to address the needs of my seniors. I've created 4,000 jobs, started jobs with the Walmart development off the Bishop Ford Expressway, where we're going to have Walmart, Ross, Bare Feet Shoes, Ann & Lennon's, and a host of other stores that are coming to that area, along with a 117,000 square foot community center that's also part of that development. I've rehabbed 1,300 units in the All-Gail Murray community to the tune of $245 million. Gwendolyn Brooks College Prep, the number 5 college preparatory school in the City of Chicago, I appropriated $32 million to make sure that school was finished. I have a history and a track record as far as creating jobs, and that's the leadership and the know-how that we need to send to Washington to make sure that you have somebody that's going to deliver. Make sure that you have somebody who has walked the walk and not talked the talk. People are talking about what they would like to do. But if you just look at my record and see what I've already done, you will see we've already laid the legwork for me to go to Congress in order to make these things happen. And let me just say this, lastly, and more than anything else, it's more important that we understand that former Alderman Gutierrez, he's now a congressman, former Alderman of the City of Chicago. Danny Davis, congressman, former Alderman of the City of Chicago. Bobby Rush, former Alderman, congressman from the City of Chicago. On the February 26th, Anthony Bill will be a former Alderman, because I'm going to be your congressman of the 2nd Congressional District. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much. I always wanted to say to the Alderman, Barack Obama, former legislator from Springfield, president. Anyway, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. You know, this race is more personal for me than about politics. When I think about where I came from, and you know, really from a middle-class family, but after I became an adult and life happened, that's where my struggle began. And if you've received any of my literature, you know I talk about the times where my kids and I ate Cheerios for dinner. It was fun to them because they didn't really know the story behind it, but I knew I couldn't afford to pay for any other food, and that's with an education and a job. But when I got divorced, half my income, walked out the door, the household income. And I know a lot of people are struggling like that right now. When I think about my son, he's 28 now, he did everything right. But when new owners came in, he had a certification, he had his education, they let him go. So he didn't have a job for 6 months, and he was too old to have health care. I want to help people like that in our district. I want to make a new way. I know I've been a change agent, a unifier. In the Treasurer's office, I created jobs all over the state of Illinois. We had a venture capital program. We had one of the biggest low-interest agricultural programs to help farmers. I have worked urban, suburban, and rural, what this district looks like. I have lived urban, suburban, and rural. So I know I can be a voice. And I am a listener, I am inclusive, and I know I will be responsive because that's the way I've always been. Thank you.
Announcements. I'd like to announce that ROC is also sponsoring our Riverdale Candidates Forum on Thursday, March the 21st, 6:30 to 8:30. This will encompass our mayor, anyone that's running for mayor for the Village of Riverdale, the clerk, the trustees, the Village Park Board, and the school. We will discuss issues of crime, jobs, village budget, and lighting. I would like to turn it back over to Pastor Curry. Thank you.
As we prepare to leave and close out, first of all, can we give our candidates another round of applause? It takes a lot of negotiating to have an event like this with their schedules and ours, so I know we had it a little bit earlier before some people got off work. We're glad that you made it. My message to you, to those from Riverdale and other South suburban districts, a day and time has to come where candidates are fearful of skipping a debate in the South suburb. At the movement of people, and as they move from Chicago further south, for various reasons, we've got to come together. And we've got to make sure that they know that they work for us. We've got to make sure that they know that if they don't show up to a candidates forum, where we vote, where we are the ones who pay their salaries, that they pay a price. So it's important. I don't care who you are supporting. It is important that you go and you knock on your neighbor's door. If you heard something great here today, you go and you sell it. You get some literature and you give it. When they vote on the 26th, I want them to say something was happening in the south suburbs. While everyone else was sleeping and deciding whether they were going to attend or not, people in the south suburbs were mobilizing, they were coming together, and they swung the election. And this election, every vote counts. They will not respect us until we find a way to come together and take our government back. We are the people. Listen, we believe in starting on time and ending on time. And by my clock, we're early. That means they got 10 minutes. Y'all get up, y'all come talk to them, and y'all get some literature. Thank you guys for coming. Give yourselves a round of applause.